Hello everybody and welcome to this interactive reading we have for the week of January 12th, 2020. Boy, I miss doing these readings and I really am feeling drawn to get back to doing weekly readings again. For those who have followed me for a period of time and know about my health status, going through cancer treatment, honestly, I've been feeling awesome. So my absence is not because of my health. I'm creating my own path and doing very well with it, finding the balance along the way. But I think my pullback, and I was looking back at my videos, I really wasn't doing regular videos week to week since March of 2019. I was kind of dipping in and giving a little something here and there. And so, you know, put the health stuff aside. That's not even, well, it's a piece of it for me, but that isn't really the reason for it. I can tell that something new has been wanting to integrate since really March, and that's my birth month. That's always when I have renewal, since that time. And it's been really intense over like the fall and so far into the winter. But I'll tell you, so there's a pretty clear theme of what my readings are really going to start focusing on going forward. It's kind of been willy-nilly up to now. You know that I'm very big into self-empowerment, that you are capable of getting through this life, not just getting through this life, but thriving through this life. And you know that I'm big into individuation and what our uniqueness is and bringing that forward. You know that I believe in those things. You know that I believe in your color coming forward. All of that is still true. But I feel that my readings really are going to start focusing in an area where we look to ourselves for stability. And the reason that I say this is that today, this is the reason I wanted to do this reading today. Today at, I think it's 11:59 in the morning, Saturn and Pluto are two huge power players in the sky. And they're going to come together like this. That's called conjunct in astrology. And astrologers have been looking at this over many years, because the last time this happened in the sign of Capricorn was the year of 1518. And most astrologers point to when Martin Luther came and you know, hammered up his credo to the church doors. There's a new sense of personal empowerment. But I also feel that this really marks a time. Capricorn is a sign of structure and of mastery and of straighten up and fly right. Like, enough with the big, big waves of emotion. That's honestly why I feel like I couldn't come on and do these messages. I needed this Capricorn energy, and it's powerful for me where it is in my chart. It's literally adjusting my baseline. And so it's just time that, these big waves of emotion and just being overcome by everything that's going on out there. That's the piece that I feel like I want to offer in my messages, is about inner stability. Because while all this action is taking place in Capricorn, what that means is there's some restructuring happening with the structures in our life. This has to do with government, religion, the money systems, credit, all of these big things. And we look to those things for stability, don't we? Whether it's on a collective or a personal level. And also the planet Uranus, which invites change into our life, and needed change. We can't stay stagnant. It just doesn't work like that here. So that planet is moving through the sign of Taurus, yet another earth sign, just like Capricorn. And that's more of this breaking down of what we look to for It's changing up what we look to for stability and safety and am I secure? That's what Taurus is very much about. But also, Taurus is about beauty. And so that's where my messages are going to be coming from, is about you taking the time to go within, to find your truth, to find your stability. In essence, I'm trying to bring all of us, I'm trying to offer an option for all of us to consider, to come up out of the turbulence, because on Earth, remember, we're talking the sign of Capricorn and Taurus, both Earth signs. Out of that, there's going to be a lot of these dirt devils. I love to call them dirt devils, but another good word is turbulence. There's just going to be a lot of that. It's going to be really bumpy. And I'm not trying to incite fear here. You can see it already happening. We didn't have to wait for these two planets to come up like this. We're already seeing this. But it's about a new order coming together, and you're going to have to look to your own truth for that. On any earthly matter. This can be money, this can be your work, this can be how you run your household, your health, anything having to do with living life on Earth. Because the systems are changing. And again, no fear here. In fact, that's the very thing I'm looking to invite us out of, is fear. I want you to be up. I wish you could see this gorgeous blue sky. I don't know if I can get I don't know if you can see. It's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous today. It is unseasonably warm. Again, big changes in life on Earth. But it can be for the better. And you can rise above and glide with the light. Okay? You don't have to be caught up in the middle of the turbulent times. You don't have to be in this place of, being in the dirt devil. I'm trying to get you either into the middle of it, the eye of the storm, or through it, where you find your own stability, okay? So that's a really long-winded intro, but I felt like it was necessary because I haven't seen you all in so long. And for anybody new here, the way I do my readings is at the beginning of the video, you saw a picture of 3 cards. And you just pick which cards, and it could be all 3 of them. Which one is your eye drawn to? Because I like to have a personal message for you, okay? And granted, this is still somewhat collective. It's for a big group of people across the world. So I can't really get too specific. If ever you're looking for a specific reading, I still do those, both astrology and card readings. You can see what I have on bluesky-shop, shoppe.com, okay? So, with that, the theme for this, considering, is about taking time for yourself to get a breath and also to enjoy life. That's another key message here. To bring that inner child out that isn't worried about all of the world and knows that everything is going in the direction that it needs to. Okay, that takes a lot of trust and courage to believe that, but it will serve you well. And our theme for all of that this week is on abundance. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Nikki. She sent me these beautiful cards. And anybody interested in these little cards, you can look on IBLove. IBBE love, LOVE.com. There's a special artist who makes these. And this is abundance. And I want to have you focus on those rings. Look at all the rings, because this is Saturn at work. I talked about Saturn making that join up with Pluto, the planet of transformation. Saturn is about structure and restriction. And I feel like we're coming into, particularly today and going forward, into this place of a new maturity and getting kind of simplifying a little bit. And cutting out all of the extra drama and cutting out all of the extra, just think about Earth life, This honestly can be a good time for cleaning out closets, for wiping off the grime on those cabinets, just really cleaning it up, And the phrase that keeps coming to me is straighten up and fly right. We can't keep drowning in the waves of emotion and think that we're going to come into an upward spiraling place and out of the turbulence, as I said, out of those dirt devils and into that clear blue sky that I'm seeing right now. That's where I want to take all of us. That is the core of my message. That's why the name of my business is Blue Sky Shop, because I know that's where every possibility exists. I use this for my health every single day, that upward spiraling place. So the beauty of what's going on in the skies is you're being offered a new level of abundance. And I want you to think about this. Again, don't get too earthy on me and be like, money. You're talking about money, aren't you? I ask you to be broader. I ask you to get clear on what abundance really means. It means every possibility is open to you. That's really what I feel the theme is. And with this, now remember all those rings in that abundance card. Also, my little piece of my ammonite came through, and this is from my fire team. I have them all broken out into the 4 elements, all my crystals. And look at how there's the rings with this too. And there's all these rainbow. It's probably hard to see, but there's these rainbow hues in the ammonite. It's absolutely a beautiful piece. And it comes out, it spirals out of the middle. So it's these spirals, it's these rings. And what I get a sense of is actual movement that's going on that we can take advantage of moving instead of an outward spiraling where we're getting our what do I want to say, our stance, our stability from outside. And I want you to picture that as, you know, you're this tiny, or actually the tiny piece, the middle of this, just like the middle of the abundance card, is out there, and then it's spiraling back to you. That's giving away all your power. The message this week is about you being in the middle. You are the middle of the ammonite. You are the one that exudes these rainbow rays. And this is quite literally how energy works. You have to take responsibility. That's what Saturn's asking us to do with Pluto, to make change, to make transformation, to say to yourself, straighten up and fly right. You're on this planet for a reason. Are you enjoying your time? Are you taking a minute to take some inner inventory around what do I want for myself? And am I going to put all my power out there, that source, that rainbow light out there? And I'm just telling you, the way that things are going to transpire with the changes happening on Earth, it's not going to offer you stability. So I'm trying to give a message to point you the other way. I want you to be the center of the ammonite here, of the abundance card. I'll show this again. You are the center where the orange is with the little circle. You are the center. You create, and then the rings go out. That's you sending energy out. And I feel there's many, many, many people who have the center out there emanating towards them, and I'm just in it for the ride. Oh no, you're not. That's not using your power. That's not using what you came here to do. You're giving away essentially your own personal power to have your own viewpoints on things, okay? Your own way of seeing the world, your own way of focusing. Really focus on what gives you nourishment, what gives you joy, instead of the worry. And again, what I'm sensing here is big emotional waves coming and just drowning you. And this has been happening across the collective. It's big waves of emotion and woundedness, and I got to heal, and I've got to dig into this wound. And I'm just saying, with as much activity going on in our skies, and we all know the power that the moon has, just as one example, those other planets have tremendous influence on what happens on this planet. And when they're in Earth signs, Earth is going through a transition. So you've got to find your own steady. I'm trying to get you to glide in the light. Glide with the light. You know, get into that place where you know that good things are occurring for you and you're sending these rainbow rays out, okay? That's kind of the preface to the message this week. So for each of you, that lens might look a little different. And those who have watched me for a while, the way I like to talk about this is the kaleidoscope. And I love to give people their unique kaleidoscope. I love to give that imagery to you that you're looking through. And you know, a kaleidoscope is at its most brilliant when you're looking up into a clear blue sky, when you've got sun going on. And we've got glorious sun right now as I'm doing this reading. When you get that level of light and clarity from you, remember, you're the beginning point of the energy here, and you're looking out and you're changing the viewfinder. Those crystals in the kaleidoscope, which are just, they're totally for you. They shift and move and create new beautiful designs, and different hues and colors gleam as you create those different images. So that's kind of a lens through which you look at life. And I'm definitely, I'm pointing you upwards. I'm pointing your viewfinder up in that blue sky where the sun is, where the clarity is. Because you aren't going to have it. It's going to be very dank and dark if you got your viewfinder pointed down, you know, in the shadows. There's just not a lot there right now. And I'm just saying collectively, with so many earth changes, it's going to become it's turbulence. It's dirt devils. There's just not a lot of clarity. So look where there is clarity, okay? These are the joyous parts of your life. These are the things in your life that are going right. These are the changes you've made that make you feel good. These are the parts of you that bring out your inner child, that make you feel so giggly. They're so silly, but they make you giggle. Those parts of life is what helps you to get that viewfinder into the right position, into the most beneficial position, I should say, for you. Okay? So that's what each card is going to represent, is a little bit of a viewfinder. Okay? Kind of the lens that is being called for you to consider, to bring more possibility. I don't really want you to get too fixated on the word abundance, because there's a lot of baggage that comes with that has to do with money. And we're talking broader than that. The money will come. If you're constantly pointed in that direction, that's upward spiraling, and all resources will be offered to you if you're in that place, if you're in that upward spiraling place. Remember, you are the base of the spiral, though. It's not the other way around. So those of you who picked this card, this is the first one that was in the photo on the left. This is King of Swords. It's time to get, Swords is about your mentality, is about the way that you choose to look at life. Get a hold of it, is what Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Capricorn is saying. Get a hold. This is the top of this suit of swords in the tarot. This is having mastery about, I get to choose how I think about this. I get to make the decision how, if I decide to put that viewfinder up, and guess what? It's also okay if you have days where you don't put the viewfinder up. Look at me. I haven't been on here regularly since last March. And I'm totally fine with that decision, because I was making a shift. And I needed to get on board with myself and kind of get straight. You know, I'm still going through this process. This is about getting straight on our thinking no matter what. Again, think about those turbulence. Think about any time that some dirt devil comes flowing into your life. And granted, it happens. You know, daily, some little dirt devil comes in, or it might be a big one. I'm encouraging you and your team, as I like to call sort of that bigger part of you, that blue sky part of you, that portion of you just really wants you to master how you use your mentality. How do you choose to process the meaning behind why something happens? And remember, this karma, this stone is known to me as karma, and it's just using your past knowledge as experience that you can call on, but to understand that you can make a new choice anytime you want. This is our ultimate power. My life changed dramatically when I really understood the phrase, everything is a choice. And of course, you have to be willing to deal with the consequences that pop up. But your call here, kind of where the viewfinder is sending your attention, is on really mastering your mental processing. How you choose to look at situations and take meaning away. Because something is shifting there for you. And there's more choices. And this is mastery of that. This is coming into a place that is much more, it's self-driven. Again, you at the center, you making the choice of how am I going to look at this? No matter what the subject is, you get to choose. And truly, it doesn't even matter if it's something like health, let me tell you. They can throw all these numbers and millimeter measurements at you and blah, 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 You are a unique human being with an individual DNA structure, just like how unique your fingerprint is. You cannot be lumped in with everybody else who has had whatever the condition is or is on this drug and these are the side effects that we've seen. Not necessarily for you. That's a choice. Even if, again, think about the incoming information, and we've got an onslaught of it right now, and we always do in our life, but with the world in major turbulent times, there's a big influx of it. You have to really think about, is what I'm taking in nurturing me and making me feel like I have choice and that things are going in a good direction for me and that I'm the creator of that good direction for my own life? You have to think about what you're taking in, and you make the choice as to if you want to continue taking that in, or if you want to make a change, or information that's just laid on you like a mud patty on your face. You have to think about how you choose to take that in, and also know that it is your right, no matter what conversation it is, and this is even in a doctor's office. You have the right to say, whoa, I don't choose to know that level of detail, or I do want to know that level of detail. But remember, you're pointing that kaleidoscope up, you're looking up. And you have to think about what's nurturing for you. And is more information nurturing? Or does it clamp onto your ankle kind of like a ball and chain and drag you down and keep you stuck and stagnant? This is just calling you. The King of Swords is like, get the mastery over what you take in, how you assign meaning, and give yourself more choice, including what you choose to take in, and know that you can say, no, I don't want to hear that, and you don't have to put that on me. And if it makes you feel better to say it, because you have to say it to cover your behind, then I'm going to sit here and go, la, 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 la. I'm not listening to you. Because you're creating. Remember, this stone is so important for this message. You're creating. Your energy is so important now. In these times, this is critical. You are the source, and you ring out to the land of abundance in that blue sky, to that place of every possibility. And if you give all of that energy to, let's say, a doctor or a boss or your spouse or your child, if you give that to somebody else and then allow those rings to come down and form around you like a cone, oh, is that really what you want? You know, that's really giving a lot of your power away. So, mastery of what you take in and how you assign meaning. Really think about that this week. Again, this is big energy we got going on, so these are potentially times to make a shift for yourself, a big transformative shift, because that's what the planet Pluto is about, is transformation and a rebirth of sorts, and letting old ways kind of go to the wayside, like cut it off and let it go. All right. For those of you that picked, this is the pink card. This is from the Flower Therapy deck. And this is Uplift Your Thoughts. So boy, your energy is definitely like taking that kaleidoscope and going, ugh! And it won't let you, it doesn't want to let you bring it down. You have a beautiful picture to create here as you move that tube of the kaleidoscope. Oh my gosh. This is the orange lily. Focus your attention on the many blessings that surround you. By doing so, you'll let go of depression, poor self-esteem, and excess weight. And mostly what I feel is these buckets of stress that are leaving you. The energy is pointing me towards what I went and did a float session in a saltwater pod yesterday. It was a just fantastic experience. And it's coming into this place, and I hope you stick with me here as I say this, of not being so darn invested in something that your feet get into cement, where you're so invested in a point of view or even a project or a state of mind or an emotion that you get really staunch, because what happens with your energy is it gets really rigid. And part of my message when I was talking about turbulence and dirt devils, there's just big winds of change around us. And the best that we can be is kind of like a willow tree, my favorite tree, that allows itself to experience this fluidity and this flexibility when the turbulent times come through, because they will. Again, stability is kind of shifting right now, and it's nothing to be afraid of, but you have to find for yourself what your own stability is. And it's really, your team just so wants you to be focused in this. It's a very childlike kind of energy, because the bright orange reminds me of that sacral chakra, you know, right below your belly button. Lots of creativity kind of energy. Really getting, I almost want to say, the more that you can get creatively focused on life and maybe try out some new things, like I did with that float tank thing. I'd never done that before. And it was a very different kind of experience, but also like taking a cooking or a baking class, or you know, trying something completely new. And what I want to say is, you don't have to stick with it. This is part of what I feel is shifting for you, is that you can try things for a period of time. I think what's shifting in the sign of Capricorn, that historically, and again, we're talking since the year 1518. I mean, wow, how much has happened in that period of time since then. I just think that we're coming into a time where we don't have to be so rigid with ourselves. That if you try new things, you can try it for a time. Because what it does for your energy field is it infuses this huge, it's being shown to me like a kind of like a fire hose coming into your energy field, and it infuses you with this new life. And I can't even tell you how important that is to move through the times of turbulence, move through the dirt devils that are not helpful. People automatically have a reaction during times of turbulence to want to grip the seat, and have white knuckles and to get more rigid. And what's being offered is exactly the opposite of that. For you to almost thin yourself out a little bit. And I'm not saying to get stressed, like thinning yourself out so much that you're everywhere and nowhere. I'm just talking gently making some small decisions to join a book club, even if it's just for a couple of books. You don't have to do something forever. You can touch into it and you can back away from it. And that's okay. I think that's part of what's shifting for us, is that we do what calls our heart. Like if you want to learn, another example I'll give you is we just as a group went to the King Arthur Baking School in Vermont. It was really fun. But then it got me thinking, like, geez, I'd really love to take their pie class, And I know how to make pie crust, and I do a pretty good job at it using our family recipe. But I'd just like to learn some of their techniques, and I'd like to learn about the difference between lard and butter, and how even rolling it out, and all these things. They're very subtle little things, but that infusion of new knowledge then that I can mix with my own knowledge that I have, and who knows what I might create once I have those mixed together. That's the way I want you to think about it. That's the land of looking up in the kaleidoscope, and as you turn it, you're creating something new and one of a kind. You mix, because this piece known as karma, this ammonite, is also taking what you know, your experience, but you need to infuse it with some new stuff. You need a new energy boost, is what I feel. And that can be uplifting literally to your vibrational energy, can make a significant difference in your life. And this is the type of thing that's going to offer you more stability. Again, getting straight on your energy from the small center inside you, and then those rings start coming out into your world. And that's how you draw that like energy to yourself, because you've created it. Okay? So really think about, here in terms of uplift your thoughts, I'm really trying some new things, and understanding it does not have to be forever. If you want to go take a swimming class or water aerobics or something, just go try it. That's the key word for you, I think, is just try. It's as much about being in another setting with other people. It may not even be about the class you're taking or the type of art that you're trying or the type of book you're reading. It might not even be about that. It might be about the mix of the other people, and there's some gift there for you that is that one little, or many little pieces like the gems in the kaleidoscope that just it like chinks into place, and it makes this beautiful image. And what that equates to within you is a rise in your vibrational energy. You are coming into a place of greater stability from within yourself. You're letting go of the old ways and the have to. If I start this, then I'm going to have to do it reliably forevermore. No, just try and really cause yourself to wonder. All right, a sense of wonder. All right, the final card, beautiful cards here. This is from the Secrets from the Mystic Grove deck. I love this deck. Oh my gosh, this is the card of release. Absolutely beautiful. And this really has to do so much. Pluto's got a message for you, because Pluto and Uranus moving through Taurus, like I was saying in the beginning, they're both working to release some things for all of us across the planet, but also individually. It definitely comes down into your life. This says letting go, freedom, and healing. And it's the number 25, which in numerology, you add those together and that's 7. That has to do with a new truth coming in. All right, so I feel like you're particularly the word freedom is coming up. And I feel for you, honestly, it feels a little emotional to me. It's like the second half of your life that's showing up. I feel like the wheel has turned enough now that it's almost like the wheel now, and I'm thinking about the Wheel of Fortune from the Tarot. It's like the wheel has, and it's moving in the other direction now. And it's just refocusing you on letting the water flow off your back effortlessly, just like it does on a duck. Okay, that's what I'm being shown, is to not be consumed by the emotion, to really let the geese are in the sky. This is about the power, the freedom of mind over emotion is what I'm feeling. That this is the rest of your life now. And there is, when Saturn is making this meetup with Pluto, I just feel a sense of new clarity. And look at, now the sun has just gone behind a cloud. It's significant. There's new clarity. There's new maturity. I feel like, and no matter what your age is, if you chose this card, I feel like it's a crone energy from the triple goddess archetype that has the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And I feel you're moving into the crone. You're there. You're really there. But you're at the start of that journey. And it's just like that like a wise elder. Like if you went on a trip, let's say, to Hawaii or something, and part of one excursion, or that you were somehow invited to a tribal kind of a ancient ceremony, and there is an elder that is a part of that ceremony, and you listen so intently to what they say, and most of all, you listen so intently to what they don't say, to their silence, to their ability to listen, to their ability to not soak in what isn't theirs. This is what I'm talking about with the water rolling off your back effortlessly. I feel like the times are shifting where you're not engulfed. The big wave of emotion comes over you, and the whole first part of your life up to this point has been being engulfed in that wave and kind of consumed by it and letting it topple you. Again, where is the energy? Like I was saying in the intro, is the energy origination point out there, the wave, the emotion, the situation, the person. It's out there, and you let it consume you, and you're like, you don't have your footing because you don't even know what to do with that information. This is a big shift because you create that energy origination from you, and nobody and no situation can come and devour you, can come and take you over like a wave and send you toppling in the surf, and where you like come to and you don't even know which end is up. That is shifting. You're letting go of that. You're creating your own freedom from these turbulent situations. And again, think about what I just said about the elder. So much comes into just kindly, compassionately listening. But Lordy, how much are you taking on that is not yours to solve, that is not your business to get into? Even if people ask you to do things, to really question, is it my place to do that? And is that the most humane thing for me to do? Or are they dodging something that they need to do for themselves because only they know, as they're looking through their kaleidoscope? Only they know what will feel right for them, what will feel uplifting and freeing. That's an individual choice. And we also have to watch if we are looking to others to save us all the time. This is a great maturity, I feel, for you. A great sense of it is my responsibility, and I have to be the one that keeps my kaleidoscope where I want it pointed, and when I want to turn it, and when I want to put it down. And that I don't need to look to anybody else or have any other situation, no matter what it is. I don't care what it is. Doesn't matter, any situation, any person. You're not letting them be the ruler of that source energy for you. It is detachment. You are free. You are not relying on another to create your own meaning, to create those pictures in your kaleidoscope. You're doing that. I hope that makes sense. It's a very mature viewpoint that I get here, especially in contrast to that the second card I just read. But it's, look at the determination in this woman's eye. You know, it's just a real knowing. And you know those people who have presence. Think about that elder in that scene I've created in a tribal kind of a ceremony. It's a real sense of ownership of self, mastery of self. And to say, no, you can think that that's my story, but it's not. I have that, and I keep that for myself. And I don't allow you to put your story on me. And I don't allow the typical story to come and wash over me. No. I've got a lot of wisdom, and I'm building my wisdom every day. And I choose what my story is going to be or isn't going to be. That's for me. There's a real determination here. And it's very mature. And I just feel you're really making this huge shift. This piece here, my ammonite, you really have to look at, you got to own that source of where the energy begins. And then please do, I ask you, please do spiral that out into the world when you are ready, when you are solid in that place, and just get that, you know when you're solid on your feet, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. You got that solid. It doesn't have to be a big spiral of energy, but then when you're solid, there's also a message of service that I'm getting for you. It's about really spiraling that energy outward and giving to others, giving that presence like an elder, giving that sense of humanity and compassion. It's very moving, what I feel. Giving that out because our world really needs that. Just presence and a sense of pointing people back to themselves to say, no, I don't have the answer for you, but I will listen. And I will keep going like this and pointing your kaleidoscope up there. I will keep doing that. I will glide up there with you any day. But I'm not going to be down here in the turbulence. I'll just listen. But I'm going to let that water, that dirt devil, roll off my back. I'm not taking that on. That's not mine. And I don't need to solve that for you. But it will be obvious to the person when you're in service like this. It will be obvious to the person that, oh, I'm in the dirt devil, aren't I? Because you're not responding to me at all. You're just listening and you're letting it flow. And then you'll say one little thing, but like, how are things going with your son? Or it's like redirecting, reframing. And you slowly they start to look up. But we have to start with ourselves first, and I feel like you're making that really significant shift. This is a really big time for you, okay? There we go, everybody. There's your messages, and it feels really good and right to be back here with you. Based on what I just said with the last card message, my intention is to be back every week. But I also have to just see how the energy feels, because if I feel like I don't really have my own solid energy in a place where I can really bring through something that is helpful to you, then I'm not going to press it. But I would like to be back on a more regular schedule, we'll put it that way, okay? So good to connect with everybody energetically here. I feel you. I feel the shift. And these are really important times. We're getting our own footing. There is no better gift you could have than to find your own grace, your own solid footing that gives you, meanwhile, the flexibility and freedom of choice and of flexibility overall in these turbulent times. Take care, and I will plan to see you next week. Bye-bye for now.